Hey everybody, so we ended Ghetto's chapter 3. Now, chapter 4 is interesting because I'm sure you remember at the end of chapter 3, they all kind of came together. So if you're playing along, well, if you're playing along, then you're an incredibly patient person. But one thing I am going to note, that if you don't do Thomas's chapters now, I don't think you can go back and do them at this point. So just as a warning. So what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to read everyone's bio for chapter 3 before we move on. So, Hugo's chapter 3. When Hugo... Great start. When Hugo and his party arrive at Lake Castle, or an enemy castle, they are captured by Zexan Knights. Caesar, a military strategist who happened to be present, assists them in escaping the castle. Just then, they hear that the Harmonian army is advancing into Chisha village. They head for the village to help fend off the attacks. By this time, Hugo is dreaming of becoming a defender of Grassland, just like the Flame Champion. The Chisha village chief... It's kind of hard to say. The Chisha village chief, Sana, recognizes Hugo's wish and tells him the location of the Flame Champion. The hero is said to be waiting in the mountains north of the village. Okay, so let's... I don't think... I guess I could read Thomas's bio. There's no need to, but Thomas... I don't know why I read in my mind Thomas's clothes clash. I don't know why I read that. Thomas clashes with a council who pronounces the castle to be within the Zexan boundary. He resolves to fight against the council who try to force Thomas's surrender. Thomas counters the attacks by Zexan in collaboration with Hugo and his military strategist Caesar, along with a mysterious supporter, which we now know to be Ghetto, but he succeeds in invalidating the council's reason to attack the castle, forcing the council to withdraw. Okie dokie, so let's go and read. Chris travels with Nash and meets Yoon and Yumi, girls from the Almakinan in Chisha village. As they follow the girls into their Okay. That sentence seems strange. As they follow the girls into their village, they learn of the ceremony where Yoon's life will be sacrificed to spirits. Misinterpreting the cultural significance of the ceremony, Chris tries to stop it, but is caught up in a battle with a mysterious group. In the meantime, Yoon's life is taken. Chris becomes convinced that there is one force behind the recent violence. To put a stop to the chain of violence, she starts her journey to the place where the Flame Champion is said to be waiting. I guess she's a knight. She wants to stop violence. I like that. Read the bio for Ghetto. At a meeting with Salome, a Zexan knight, Ghetto finds out that there was a powerful group of magicians who are behind all the recent incidents. As requested by Salome, Ghetto secretly backs the defense of Lake Castle. He also informs his unit comrade Joker that he is the successor for the True Lightning Rune, and adds that the Flame Champion is his sworn friend. Ghetto, now determined to meet the Flame Champion again, heads for the land where the champion awaits. So it's kind of interesting that they all have kind of the same reason, but not to want to meet the Flame Champion. So I'm going to go ahead and start with Hugo's chapter 4. Oh no, it's really dark, isn't it?
Just a little bit, but we're picking up back up where we left off.
We're all here together, finally.
What is this?
It's a cave. Uh-oh, that doesn't look good. The Flame Champion Smappy, my beloved, is deceased. Well, that's interesting. Didn't he have the true fire rune? But how can a rune bearer die? A bearer is supposed to be immortal. Well, Chris, we're talking about true runes here only. That's not the same for normal runes. That is true, but he chose to grow old with me rather than live eternally. Excuse me. Although sadly he didn't, I guess he must have died young, because she seems like she's pretty healthy for her age.
Doesn't mean he would have been.
Yeah, that's true.
My dear Sana, how do you like being known as the champion's lover?
Ooh. I don't like it. Oh, it's young Sana. The champion's lover? I never intended to live in somebody else's shadow, let alone bear such a grandiose title.
Who knew? I don't like being labeled either, but somehow I got the name and it stuck. I never thought I'd be working for justice or the people. I was born and raised here in the grasslands, and I just couldn't bear to see my land ransacked. That's how it all began. People were so excited to finally have hope. They projected it onto me. And here I am now.
Is it difficult to always sustain that heroic image for the sake of your people?
It is hard to have such devoted people imposing their ancient dreams and ideals on me. I want the decision to act as I wish, to live or to die. But it doesn't do me any good to complain. I must think positively.
That sounds more like the man I know. You've been behaving more like a champion lately, but it's just for show, isn't it? I'll admit, I'm relieved.
I'll only fight for what I hold dear. Holy Harmonia has agreed to a 50-year ceasefire. This should give us enough time.
Us? That might not be enough.
Yes, but at least we won't see our loved ones destroyed before our own eyes. The name Champion means nothing to me. My time with you, that is the most precious thing.
Aww. Smappy. That was a really slow fade out.
No kidding.
Then, he used an ancient secret method of Sindar, which is spelled incorrectly, to seal the true rune he bore in his body, and chose to perish along with me. I don't doubt it. Sounds like something he'd do. He did. No more Flame Champion. Get mad, Hugo.
Then, the Flame Champion, the hero who protected the grasslands, is no longer...
Playing Yahtzee. Sorry. I don't know why I said that. Son, the shadows of the dead don't protect your loved ones. You do. You'll see. But the new champion must unite the grassland clans with Zexen. They're still in constant conflict and under the threat of Harmonian army. Smappy accomplished it not with his title as a hero, but with his own abilities. Isn't this so? Ghetto, you still haven't forgiven Smappy, have you? You never change. You were always an idealist, and it encouraged Smappy to no end. But the fact that you didn't seem to understand him hurt him. Smappy left me with a message, which is why I'm here today. He was able to predict the future to some extent because he bore the true rune. I know that sounds a little odd, but that actually will come up again later in the game, so... The true fire rune he sealed is protected by the ancient secret method of Sindar. If you wish, I can open the door for you, but this will require you to take the power and the burden of the Flame Champion upon yourself.
Take over the title of the Flame Champion?
Then, who is it going to be? Are you saying that one of us three will be his successor? No, it will be me. Smappy often said that one's destiny is not predetermined, but is changeable. Ah, that's a nod to the intro to Suikoden 1. He has said even destiny makes room for a person who is strong-willed. Smappy told me that the three of you would appear here to take over the true fire rune, but he didn't specify who. He believed that a person's will, rather than their destiny, could open a door into the future. The decision of who will assume the title of the Flame Champion will not be made by destiny, but by the will of a person.
Slow fade.
Oh, I know. Goodness. Okay, so this is where all of them converge. So it doesn't matter whose chapter 4 you start. It really won't matter because they all converge. So this is one of my biggest complaints about this game is you get to choose who becomes the Flame Champion. So you can choose Hugo, you could choose Chris, or you could choose Ghetto. So why you would choose Ghetto logically makes no sense to me whatsoever. I've never actually done it because that would mean he'd have to give up the True Lightning rune, which has been in his body for who knows how long, and he would switch to another True rune. To me, that's a little ludicrous because, I mean, he's already attuned to one. Why would you? And in fact, I don't even know how he would get rid of the one he has to get another. That literally makes no sense to me. I'm kind of curious. You know what, actually? I might actually save this on a different save file and just see what happens. I've never done it. Anyways, Chris also doesn't make too much sense here. We're gonna get more into that a little later. You'll see it. I think it's actually pretty soon that we see why this doesn't make much sense. There's actually a reason that I think Chris doesn't fit well for the Flame Champion successor. I'm not like, being, you know, picky about gender or like Zexen or anything like that. You'll actually see why. But, so Hugo, honestly, like, story-wise, makes the most sense. And Icon and I talked about this for a while. We decided to do what made sense for the storyline, so we're going to actually go with Hugo to be the Flame Champion successor, because I think that's actually who it is in the manga as well. Because Ghetto makes literally no sense whatsoever, and Chris has a good reason to not be it as well, so we're going to just go with Hugo. Which is, I think, what most people do. But now I'm actually really curious. I might make a bonus video to see if, like, how Ghetto actually loses his rune to get the other. I've never done it. I've never looked it up either.
Probably a secret method of the Sindar.
Yeah. So this is a, you cannot, I mean, unless you go back to a previous save file, this is something you can't undo, and then you will be playing this as the main character the rest of the game. So, I mean, if you really, really like Ghetto, then you would choose Ghetto, but, yeah, it's, again, you know, going back to Ghetto's character, he's really attuned to lightning magic, so that means that if you gave him a whole ton of lightning magic, you'd have to go back and give him fire magic, which he's not as attuned to. So, it's, again, it's almost like difficulty level, I kind of wonder, because it would be really hard to play as Ghetto as the Flame Champion, I think.
It's true.
I mean, I kind of like what they were going for here, where it's like, you can choose your destiny and pick a character, but storyline, it just makes no sense for Ghetto. I actually have done Chris as the Flame Champion, and it was kind of confusing. The storyline just didn't flow as well. But you could still do it. In fact, I think that's who I chose the first time I played the game.
During my first battle, I lost my best friend. Sergeant said it's all part of war, but I'd do anything to have enough power to stop that kind of thing from ever happening again.
I don't know, I kind of see where Hugo's coming from, but at the same time I feel like he's still a little juvenile about the whole thing. He's like, I need tons of power to protect myself.
Smappy, Mr. Flame Champion, we need the power you possessed. So, can you please lend me? Can you please let me have the power?
Please. I used the magic word. I think Hugo's personality actually also fits really well with the Flame Rune.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Fire Rune. He's kind of, you know, all over the place, kind of like the Fire Rune.
Brash.
You will follow Smappy as the new Flame Champion, Hugo. To fulfill his last request, I will open the door to the True Rune. Behind it, a challenge awaits you. By passing this test, you will prove your ability to bear the rune's responsibilities.
Alright.
Okay.
Zog zog.
I think I might actually go ahead and split them out. That way, because they all have their own runes, and that way I'm not, like, tied down to being able to use one rune in a group. Ah, yes, let's save. If the game says save, it's for good reason.
Yeah, when it prompts you to save.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm definitely going to keep that save file. I'm very curious now. I want to go back and see what happens. Well then, let me guide you. Are you ready? Actually hold it a second, because I don't know if we're all healed up. Yeah, let me know when you're ready. Ah, we're not. I didn't think we were. Okay.
Good thing you checked.
It's a good thing I checked my controller settings, because, you know, the game is finicky about that. Okay, let's do this again. Oh. Wow, it really wants you to save. Please show me the way. Well then, may I show you the way? I just said that. No, not yet. Wow, the game really wants you to be sure about this. Which is funny because this isn't even... I don't remember this boss being that hard. Like, I've definitely lost to this boss in the past, but I don't remember... There's definitely a boss in this game that I think is personally the hardest boss in any Suikoden game.
So what Smappy's not telling you guys is that this is the point of no return for the end of the game. So if once you cross this, it's done. That's it. Game's over.
Game's over. The game's only got 5 more minutes.
Gotta beat this boss, and then there's a cinematic, and everything resolves itself.
The true fire rune lies here. Proceed and open I thought you were going to open the door. Make up your mind. Am I opening the door or are you opening the door?
She's opening the seal, I thought. He gets to open the door.
Oh, okay.
Maybe. I don't know. I could be making this up. There is a distinct lack of fire.
Yeah. Maybe it was really the kindness rune. The true kindness rune.
Huh? Yeah, he knows what's up.
This is the first time in the series that we're going to fight a true rune as not a final boss fight, I
believe. The test, I see.
A giant flaming dragon.
Was the Beast Rune the final boss of Suikoden 2?
Yes. And that was a true rune.
Yeah.
And then the end of Suikoden 1 was the true rune. It was on the dude's sword. Oh no. I can't remember what it's called. Oh no, I gotta play Suikoden 1 again because I can't remember what it's called. You guys, this is important to me. I mean, like, my brain only recalls important information, and this is important information.
Clearly not, since you forgot it.
Oh no, you know, I'm really upset by this now. This is something I'm probably gonna have to do now, is play this game, play Suikoden 1 again. I'm probably gonna charge my PSP after this. Okay, so wait, Fire Rune, Fire R, I think it's Fire Rune Incarnation is what it's called.
Okay.
I was gonna try, I know, I'm gonna use a Fire Rune on it. Okay, to be fair, how much I remember of this game after this point is definitely gonna go down. There's certain points I do still remember quite well, but that's not one of them. I don't remember if I can really hurt him with... I suppose brains out with at least Ghetto's, oh, wait, why can't I use the hammer? Oh, did I use the hammer on the way in?
You used it and didn't recharge it.
Oh no! Okay, well, whoops. So she still has the water room, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and do Breath of Ice on her. I'm hoping that Chris goes first before Hugo. That's all I can, okay. Thank you, Hugo.
I was gonna say,
At least get out of the way, Hugo.
I didn't know that I'm not sure that you can use magic against a true rune. Like you said,
I know you can't use the same kind of magic, but, like, he's completely impervious to fire, I'm pretty sure. Hugo should be safe. I mean, that wasn't an AoE attack, but oh no, that did hurt him. Okay, that's what I thought. I can't believe I'm such an idiot. Okay, I think I saw Hugo run off. Yeah, Hugo was smart enough to run away, so he didn't get by that. Yeah, it said Hugo dodge. 66, okay. I was gonna say, I think only Ghetto can hurt it with magic. This is gonna be true lightning.
So, I gotta admit, when the silhouette of it appeared against the fire as it was coming out, straight up thought it looked like Charizard.
It did. Okay, why did I do that? I don't think anyone needs any healing, so let's just go ahead and whack him.
Yep.
And I can't believe I didn't save that hammer. I feel like a freaking idiot.
I know. Well, I should have remembered that this was coming up, and I completely forgot.
I don't know why I didn't think about it. I'm pretty sure I don't remember this fight. I think I've only lost this fight maybe once or twice, but I mean, he's not as bad as the one I'm thinking about, which I think might be the boss fight after this. Which when we get to that fight, there's literally only one way I know how to win that, and it's so cheap.
And yet it works so well in regular.
Yeah, in fact, I think you only fought him the one time because he used my cheapo strategy.
Yeah, beat him first try. I don't know what you guys are all talking about. He's not that hard.
I have to admit, though, out of every Suikoden boss fight in Sheep Strategy with Suikoden 5, I had a character who could cause the knockout, like, you know, make him dizzy and miss their turn.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that he could do it to anybody, including the final boss.
Seriously?
Yeah, like, I only took one... The final boss of Suikoden 5 only hit me one time because he just kept stunning him over and over and over. And I was like, that is so cheap.
So I recall...
Like, if I ever LP it, I might do it again just for fun.
I remember back when World of Warcraft was still pretty new, it was vanilla, and somebody got one of the legendary weapons on my server. It was the guy on the other faction, and he was wanting to shut off the battlegrounds against us. And so he ran into the battlegrounds, and he's in a Wrathy Basin with it, and he just wanted to just demolish all of us. And so everybody on our faction knew that he'd gotten legendary weapon, and so every single one of our warriors was disarming him, non-stop. And so he never got a chance to use his brand new legendary weapon the entire battle. And I think we went on to win because he had like a team of healers just there, so he could basically have a fun day with his brand new weapon. And so about 10 minutes later, he joins the next battle, and now he has the thing on to prevent it from getting disarmed ever again.
So, going back to Suikoden, I'm sure you guys remember a while ago when I said that I had a reason for giving Chris the water room specifically, even though we always had people with the water room. This is one reason why. He would have no way of healing otherwise, because he really does not do good with water magic. I'm just gonna keep Ghetto, and then I'm gonna have her do kindness drops on Hugo. He seems to be taking a ton of damage here.
Is that the fire rune's rune on the ground? Symbol?
It is. The true fire rune symbol is on the ground. You might actually recognize that, because I think I did that rune for one of my postscript assignments.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. And I know I did the Suikoden logo as well.
Yeah, I knew you did the Suikoden logo. I was actually telling somebody about that at work this 2 weeks ago, I think.
Yes, we already beat him. He's pretty easy. I mean, I guess he's easy because I know to come in with the water rune. So, otherwise he could be difficult because we'd be so busy healing. Yay, we're amazing!
Okay, well, game's over. That's it. We got the Flame Champion. Everything's done.
I don't want to get rid of Dragon Sense. Let's get rid of... Oh, we got plenty of time. You did it, Hugo! Oh.
I did it! Now I have proven myself.
With the help of 2 other people, one of them having a true rune.
Shh.
True fire is now yours. I always felt like this was a little anticlimactic. He's like, I got it. And I'm like, you're not going to pass out or feel overwhelmed or anything? I mean, I got it. Let's go. My job here is done. Let us return now. It is time for the living to continue their lives. So I know a few of my viewers have been commenting that this game is a little hard to follow, and I will agree with you. This game is very difficult to follow. The storyline can be confusing, and you're like, what's going on? And especially with this kind of stuff, where you can just choose different people. Oh.
Sorry, the connection dropped on me there. You're gonna have to read that one.
Lady Chris, Ghetto, I hope I'm the right person for this. I have no idea why I was chosen as the... So I like the sign. I have no idea why I was chosen as the bearer of the new bearer of the true fire rune.
He shouldn't bear the rune if he doesn't understand its true purpose or meaning.
It's Masked Man. And Sarah and Uber and what's his face. Why are you here? This place is supposed to be sealed.
You just unsealed it yourself. When I sought the rune previously, it was impossible to find this location. The Flame Champion must have been an extremely cunning man. I searched Labuk, the Sapphire Clan, even Almakenan. He caused me a lot of trouble. But it doesn't matter now. I found what I'm after. Give me the rune. Hey, I saw you back on the highway.
I saw you before.
Oh, yeah. I remember you. How could a kid like you ever bear a true rune? Life has strange twists, I guess. Damn. Let's get on with this, shall we? I'm a very busy man.
Alright. You know, I've actually said this before, but nothing interesting happens. Like, they're all like, what's wrong with you, Hugo? Don't do it. Only because I know what he wants it for, so I'm actually kind of curious. But I'm gonna say something more logical, so...
I won't give you the rune. This is a token to show that I took over the spirit of the Flame Champion. Go ahead and resist. It'll give me a chance to practice my powers of persuasion.
He definitely has them.
So, shall we get started, Flame Champion?
I already blew all my lightning spells. Well, we have the true fire rune now, so let's just blow their brain. Oh, wait a minute, I thought I gave him fire magic.
I thought you did too.
I thought I did this to plan this. Wait, did I give him wind? I know I gave him some wind, but I thought off screen I gave him fire. Oops. No. Not bad. Okay, well. Ghetto's already blown all his stuff, but... she can do something. Let's do Breath of Ice. Yeah, sure, why not? This is gonna work. So anyways, as I was saying, I know the storyline can be a little confusing, so I guess while I'm doing this fight, I'll explain a little what's going on. So the very beginning of the game, we had the Grasslands and Zexen, who were right next to each other if you watched my Part 0 episode. And they've been kind of at war. I mean, Zexen kind of annexed itself from Grassland in history, like a long time ago, so they have a bit of Grassland to it, but they've been at war with the Grasslands. And so at the very beginning of the game, they were signing a treaty with Grassland, and then something went wrong and the lizards suddenly attacked. And Zexen was confused, and they said, how dare they? The peace treaty was just trying to confuse us. It was a trick the whole time. And so they got really upset, and on the way out, they're like, well, let's go to the village, Hugo's village, and I can't remember what they're called now all of a sudden. And we'll just burn down a couple huts and run off. And, sorry, I knew I was going to lose that fight, but I didn't think it was going to be that fast. Hold on, let me finish explaining what's going on before it goes any further. And so they were going to burn down just a couple huts just so they could get away, the Karaya village. And they just wanted to burn down a couple huts just so they'd be like, yeah, let's get away, you know, we'll just, you know, confuse them with these couple huts. But when they got there, something happened and they ended up burning down the entire village and slaughtering everybody, but that wasn't part of the plan. And Boris knew better, but they were like, that's so weird. And so Hugo shows up when the village is burning and Chris is trying to get away. And they were like, all this confusion because they weren't anticipating to burn down the whole village, and Hugo wasn't obviously expecting his village to be burnt down, so he was all upset. He goes, I delivered the peace agreement, why are you doing this? And they said, well, you started it with the Lizard Clan. And so what ended up we found out was when we were Ghetto, we were at the Lizard Clan, and it looked like the Zexen Knights had murdered their chief, so they were all angry, so that's why they attacked the Peace Council. So you were like, okay, so it sounded like Zexen attacked the lizard, so the lizard attacked Zexen at the Peace Council. But that wasn't true because we were the knights at the Peace Council, and the lizards attacked us, and we didn't know why, so we ran off. And then when we burned down the knights burned down the Karaya village, they were very confused. And Hugo got all upset because, his friend got killed when the village was burned down. So Hugo pretty much just, picked up and walked around the grasslands learning about the Flame Champion and history. And Chris was trying to figure out what was going on. Like, she was like, why did Boris act that way? Why did he burn down the whole village? What's going on? Like, why would the Grasslanders attack us? And then Ghetto was even more confused because Ghetto was like, obviously something's going on. So he talked to Salome later, and Salome was telling him, that, some magicians were going around causing problems. And he goes, wait a minute. So the Lizard Clan wasn't attacked by the Zexen Knights. It was attacked by these rogue magicians. And, so he was like, well, now that we know that there's like another party involved besides Zexen and Grassland, and he was like, we need to investigate this, and I'm gonna go talk to my friend, the Flame Champion. And Hugo just wants to protect the Grasslands, so he's like, I want to be the Flame Champion and find him. And Chris is trying to figure out what's all this is going on as well, because she's like, we didn't attack the Lizard Clan, but somebody did, and somebody's trying to put a wedge purposely between the Grasslands and the Zexens, but I don't want that. I want peace between everybody, even though I'm in the military. So she's like, I'm going to seek out this Flame Champion as well. So I know that was a bit of a brief overview, but during all this group of magicians have been going around causing mischief. So why are they going around? Well, we're slowly learning that, this masked man here wants runes. So he was purposely starting the war because he was trying to root out the fire rune. So that's the reason I brought all this up now, was because he really wants the fire rune. So he thought if he started a war between Zexen and Grassland again and stirred up Harmonia to be interested in the war, which is what he was also doing, that maybe the Flame Champion would just pop out of the ground again and be like, here's my fire rune. So he was purposely stirring all this up so the fire rune would come out. And he was also interested in the water rune, which was in the Almakenan village. So he was kind of doing that on the side, but he already knew where the water rune was, as he stated, but he didn't know where the fire rune was. So that's why he was causing all that mischief. So I know that was a really fast overview, but there's a few things to remember and all that. We're never really 100% figured out what's going on with the Cry Village burning, but since it was such a strange situation, we can probably think they might have had something to do with it, these magicians. We know they had something to do with the Lizard Clan chief dying, and they have something to do with stirring up Harmonia's interest in this as well. So since he is a high bishop for Harmonia, he's causing mischief, saying we need to be involved in this when they really don't. So anyways.
You'd better admit defeat and give us the rune.
No, please don't.
Don't come any closer. You're asking the impossible. Stop right there. What was that? Was it the spirit of the last Flame Champion? It's just more futile resistance.
Please hold it there. The gate has just been opened.
What's going on? Somebody tell me! What's going on? Boss, what happened? Where am I?
Wait, wasn't there more people with Hugo?
I think so. What's happening? This place is filled with traces of the last Flame Champion's aura. It is not advisable to fight here. Sarah?
Yes, sir.
Why? Why can't we do as we choose? Is this the spirit force of the rune? Stop! Stop right there! No, don't run away! I will leave the room with you for the time being, but I will be back soon.
Bye, Masked Man.
Hey, what's going on? Where the hell am I?
You're in a cave.
No different than before. Just
Yeah.
now it's a room in a cave. Ugh. This is strange. Where am I? Look, it's Hugo! Hello! You ought to know where you are! You've been here before! You're in Chisha Village!
Oh, can you not read that? Uh-oh. Did I lose you, Icon?
Sorry about that. Yeah, you lost me there for a second. Yeah. How can this be? I thought I escaped from the cave where the Flame Champion was lying, and... You fainted, that's all. And you gave us quite a scare. Sana said it could have been because you used your true rune power. You look exhausted.
I didn't. I got my chanting was stopped.
I think I remember something, but it's all fuzzy. Hey, Sergeant, what's happening outside? Quite a bit, actually. There's a broad representation of clans out there. Let's see, there's the Karaya clan, the Lizard clan, more that I can't read because it cut off the middle of what I was saying.
The Ironheads along with the Harmonian Mercenaries. I can't believe they're not fighting by now.
Why are they all here? Chief Lucia and Salome, one of the Zexan Ironheads, agreed that the conflict was the responsibility of the Harmonian army.
You're not too far off, but you're not right on either.
It's good enough. Unfortunately, there it is. Even if it's true, no one will believe it. Especially not the Lizards. Their chief was murdered, you know. They won't be easy to placate. That is true. I won't be appeased easily either. I'll never forget Lulu. But still...
Sergeant Joe. I missed you, Sergeant Joe. Alrighty.
He's been around recently.
Well, it's just been a while since we played a Hugo chapter. Did I just go in circles? I did.
Well, actually, I was going to say, we might be at a good stopping point.
Yeah, I'm just... Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm underground. Dang it. Yeah, this is a good stopping point. We'll see you guys next time when we go upstairs and figure out what's going on. So, bye for now.
Bye, guys!